ready to get started here in Fort Worth. The winner will play TCU in the second round as Louisville controls the tap in their white jerseys with the red and black trim. Nebraska comes in their scarlet uniforms as the lower seed, the number 10 seed. Cochran right up over Markowski, but short. And there's the freshman, Britt Prince, the point guard. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Nisley, Hake, and Petrie around Britt Prince, that dynamic freshman who just hit a three-pointer, and Alexis Markowski inside. The veteran inside, the dynamic guards on the outside. That's exactly what Louisville has as well, as they have their second possession, excuse me.
And one thing to keep an eye on is this matchup inside right there with Cochran, Olivia Cochran for Louisville at 6'3". She holds down the fort for the Cardinals, and Markowski, who we featured in the open. Those two will be going after each other.
Markowski inside to stretch the lead to 5-2 early for Nebraska. Let's take a look at our tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One for Louisville. Taj Roberts, Jalea Williams, the transfer from Miami. Curry coming back after missing 2 games in the ACC tournament. And then inside you've got Harris and Cochran. Williams gets past a couple of defenders to score.
Yeah, Jalea Williams, known as the defensive stopper really for Louisville, but she has the ability to be a little bit flashy on offense and make good decisions when the shot clock's running down.
Prince in her first NCAA tournament game. This Nebraska team won their first round game last year against A&M. The turnover forced against Prince, and Cochran quickly down the court to score. And Alexis Markowski didn't even cross half court for Nebraska that time.
Well, that's that trapping defense, and we'll see it here again on this play. Louisville loves to put a lot of pressure on the opponents.
And this is the story of the game. How much will the Louisville defense disrupt Nebraska? Nebraska is number 1 in the Big Ten in three-pointers made and three-point percentage, but will they get the three-pointers up against this defense? Well, there they did. Markowski drains it from the top of the key.
Yeah, Markowski is not afraid to shoot. The post players, I think, for Nebraska have the ability to shoot from the perimeter selectively.
Curry has it stripped away by Callan Hake. Hake to Prince, another 3, strong that time, and Cochran there to rebound.
I expect this game also to be up and down. The pace both of these teams like to play with is fast.
Double team inside and a travel. Amy Williams, the head coach for Nebraska in her 9th year. Appearances in the NCAA tournament with both South Dakota and Nebraska. And she was a senior player at Nebraska when Jeff Walz was a brand new young assistant coach. So he was like 24 years old, and Amy Williams was 22 as a senior. So they have known each other since the late 90s when Jeff Walz was on Paul Sandiford's staff at Nebraska. What a job Jeff Walz has done at Louisville over the years. Last year when they lost in the first round, that was the first time Louisville had ever lost a first round game under Jeff Walz. The run out for Olivia Cochran, and she continues to beat Markowski down the court via those turnovers.
And back the other way we come, and Nebraska not afraid to launch it.
Jessica Petrie short on the three-pointer. Pulling up is Williams, and there's Markowski with the rebound. All tied up here in Fort Worth. Nebraska finished 10-8 in the tough Big Ten as Petrie spins and scores. Louisville finished in a tie for 4th and were the number 6 seed in the ACC tournament. Williams gets a screen. And Easton Balolu missing inside. Prince with the rebound. Prince, little in and out move up over Williams, and last touch by Nebraska.
Early on, we are seeing a lot of substitutions, both of these coaches with strong benches.
And Prince going to take an early seat as we take a look at Jeff Walz. 40-15 is his record in NCAA tournament games. Has advanced teams to the Sweet 16 12 times, the Elite Eight 8, and the Final Four 4 times in his career at Louisville. And a timeout on the court. Immediate timeout with Nebraska leading 10-8.
Something that they probably remember very well, any player that was with Jeff Walz last season. They are coming in focused today and know how important it is to take it game by game. But what a terrific job he has done at Louisville. I mean, you know, what a tremendous program. We saw Mark Campbell in the previous game in his second season, just trying to put a team together the first 2 years and trying to build a program. Well, that's what Jeff Walz has done at Louisville year after year after year.
Nebraska leading Louisville 10-8 here in the first quarter of play in Fort Worth.
Great ball pressure right there.
2 on the shot clock. Ferdy Rimdahl not realizing it, and a shot clock violation. So right out of the timeout, Nebraska with a shot clock violation. Jeff Walz' team's known for their pressure defense. They've already forced 5 turnovers for Nebraska.
Big key to pressure defense, though, is pressure on the ball, so the ball handler does not have vision to make potentially the one pass that is available.
Isela Arenas, 0 into the game for Louisville. There she is with the basketball. Gets a screen from Marissa Russell, who is also back from injury. Number 13, Russell, was out both games in the ACC tournament with a back injury, as well as Jada Curry being out with the shoulder injury. They're both back now for the big dance.
And that is so important this time of year, to have that depth to the bench, to go to different options.
Louisville picking up in some full court pressure. Britt Prince back onto the court for the Huskers. Also Amaya Hargrove, number 33, freshman, into the game. Nice screen from Markowski, but Rimdahl missing.
That was a terrific decision right there by Rimdahl to put the ball on the floor. When you get that kind of pressure, you need to attack the pressure. Misses the shot.
And the officials came together. Dee Kantner, veteran official, Edward Sadlasky, and Natasha Harris came together to say that it was Louisville basketball.
Might have had a little help there from Jeff Walz, who was lobbying for the call to be overturned.
Louisville 21-10 on the year, 13-5 in ACC play. There's Taj Roberts, a freshman, a dynamic freshman, gets called for the travel there, but she averages over 13 points a game for Jeff Walz' team.
Yeah, her specialty is to take the three-point shot, maybe take a mid-range shot. Got a little aggressive right there, didn't see the double team, turned the ball over.
Nebraska led in scoring by Markowski on the year. She's on the bench right now, has been replaced by Petra Bojan. Also in double figures, Britt Prince averaging 13.4 points a game. Throwing it up at the basket was Kendall Moriarty. And passing ahead, that one gets away from Louisville. It will be Nebraska basketball.
Transition defense was a big key today for Nebraska because of the fact that Louisville likes to push tempo, makes misses. They like to get down the floor quickly.
Yeah, when we talked to Amy Williams yesterday at practice, she said the first thing she said to us was transition defense. She also knows they're going to double team and trap. How will Nebraska handle that? and then an offensive foul called on Logan Nisley on the screen.
Yeah, terrific call right there, really, on that dribble handoff. As a dribbler who's handing the ball off to your teammate, you have to give the defender time and space to get around you. It's just like setting a screen. So imagine that if the ball handler was setting a screen, they'd have to be in a fixed position facing.
Jefferman's number 15 with the basketball. Roberts comes around the screen.
Good job of contesting that shot right there. I've been impressed with Nebraska's defense, their ability to play one-on-one defense, pressured Louisville.
Kicked by the Cardinals. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Olivia Cochran going to check back in.
And just to watch the play here, it's a great back door, and defensively, I love instinctive players. You can't even help but kick your foot out to try to just get a piece of your body on the ball.
Great passing, sets up Beaujean inside for her first basket of the game.
Yeah, and here comes Louisville. Again, the pace.
Williams, kind of a wild shot in the paint, but an offensive rebound. That's what Louisville does extremely well. 14 plus offensive rebounds a game. Rimdahl changes gears, misses. Hargrove has it stripped away, and there's that defense from Jalea Williams.
And here she comes again, pushing tempo, getting to the rim.
And she's fouled by Beaujean.
I think one of the reasons why Louisville's so good on the offensive boards is because everybody runs. So they have all of these opportunities in transition offense. If the basket is missed, then they have somebody there to get the rebound.
So Markowski back into the game for the Huskers. And Marissa Russell, number 13, in for Louisville. Well, for the 5th year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. So we've already had some good ones. Liberty escaped with, or excuse me, Kentucky escaped with the win over Liberty, just 1 point for the Wildcats at home. It's good to see Aoka Lee back in uniform. She hasn't played since early in February for Kansas State, and they got a victory.
Lee will be so important to Kansas State making a big run. They were a team that was hoping to host this season, but just couldn't get enough wins down the stretch, I think, in the tournament to be able to have one of those 16 spots to host.
Yeah, just outside of it, as Rimdahl is fouled on the floor by Jada Curry. But this has been a fast first quarter, hasn't it?
Absolutely fast, and a lot of it is just, it's the pace, and then there haven't been a ton of whistles here in the quarter.
And the ball is thrown out of bounds. Nisley tried to lead Markowski into it, but led her too far. And another turnover for the Huskers.
And if you're going to turn the ball over like that, that's a good way to do it, rather than giving it to the defense to have another fast break opportunity.
I mentioned Louisville went into the ACC a 6th seed. They beat Clemson in overtime in the second round, then lost to Duke, the eventual champion in the ACC tournament. Curry, tough shot off the backboard.
And the first points for Curry here. She has a few assists already in this game, so making an impact, but first shot she's been able to get down.
Markowski made one earlier, missed one there. She is 50% from three-point range over the last 10 games, and short on that shot. But again, Louisville gets an offensive rebound.
And some confusion defensively. Nebraska got really lucky on this play.
Petrie with the rebound, the native of Gold Coast, Australia. There she is with the basketball. Lobs it inside to Markowski. How did she catch that and go up with it? What a play for Markowski. Russell drains the three. Russell just a 28% three-point shooter, but shot that one confidently.
Well, she is somebody that is so important to this team, Russell, and good to see her on the floor.
That one's knocked out of bounds. Shot clock is off, 15.1 seconds remaining, all tied up here in the first quarter. Alberti Rimdahl, the transfer from Florida, has been playing extremely well as of late for the Huskers, and a nice feed down to Jessica Petrie. And a half-court shot, no, almost for Williams, but the Huskers will go into the second quarter with the 2-point lead.
It has been up and down for both of these teams. A little slow start scoring for Curry, but she got going with a shot, but Markowski's been big, and Nebraska has the lead.
Welcome back to Fort Worth, Texas, where the Huskers lead the Cardinals 16-14 as we start the second quarter. And these two teams have had success. We talked earlier about their impressive wins. Nebraska, 6 wins against the NCAA tournament field. Louisville, 5 wins. I think the best win for Nebraska this year is on the road at Maryland. For Louisville, they gave Duke their only loss of the year at home this year.
Yeah, and Louisville, remember, during that stretch of February, went 5-3, including that win against Duke on Duke's floor. So both of these teams definitely contenders, I think, definitely deserve to be in the tournament. But for me, Louisville, just with their youth that they had to kind of bring up to speed, their new players with Williams, who transferred in after being at Miami for 3 years as a point guard, and Nebraska having a freshman point guard, they're just reaching their peak right now.
Yeah, both teams coming together. Both teams in their conference tournaments lost to the eventual champions in the quarterfinals. Nebraska lost to UCLA, and Louisville, without Jada Curry, lost to Duke. As Nebraska, on their first possession, that's what they're known for. They've got 8 made field goals on 8 assists so far.
And Louisville had gone to a zone and just a bit of a miscommunication, giving up that 3.
Olivia Cochran, boy, she has been tough early. She's got 8 points to lead the Cardinals.
She is elite, I think, in the post. Her footwork, her ability to score around the rim and step out.
Alexis Markowski is the senior for Nebraska. Olivia Cochran defending her is that 5th-year grad student. So veteran on veteran in the post, and that one's tied up. It will be possession arrow Louisville.
And again, just ball pressure on that play right there, again causing a turnover for Nebraska. Right now, for me, Britt Prince, at the point guard position, number 23 for Nebraska, needs to be a little more solid with the basketball, stronger with the ball in her passes.
Louisville with the basketball. Jalea Williams hands off to Curry. Curry looking for a screen from Cochran. Markowski hedging. 8 to shoot. Randolph into the game, number 4 for Louisville. And another offensive rebound, this time for McKinley Randolph. That's another one of those talented freshmen for Louisville.
And the first second chance points today for Louisville, even though they have offensive rebounds, 6 of them.
Markowski fouled, and she will go to the free throw line. That's the first foul on Olivia Cochran, and something we will keep an eye on as those two veteran post players go at one another.
I have not seen Nebraska in person this year, but the one thing that really has impressed me thus far is the pace they play with. I know they share the ball, I know they can shoot the ball, but they're keeping pace with Louisville, which is so essential against a team like this.
9 assists, 9 made baskets for the Huskers as Markowski can't complete the 3-point play. And Williams, nice crossover, pulls it back out. And stolen away by Nisley. Prince pulls up, got it.
Now that's a confident freshman for you, something that she is certainly capable of doing. A scoring point guard.
5 points for Britt Prince. All Big Ten freshman team. Cochran kicks it out. Williams sets things up. 10 on the clock. Williams changes direction. Cochran. 2 seconds. 1. Curry gets it up. Catches the rim, and then they're going to call an offensive foul on Williams. She politely sets the ball down on the floor because I don't think she agrees with it.
Yeah, you know, Williams just seemed to be overpowering Prince on the boards right there. Prince doing her best to box Williams out after a terrific defensive stand for Nebraska. I don't see it, but we get the benefit of a second look at it.
And a missed opportunity for Louisville, as Williams would have had an easy extra chance after the rebound. That last pull-up jumper by Prince was not assisted. That was the first basket that Nebraska made that had not been assisted. Here comes Prince. 3 on the shot clock. Prince steps back. Too long, and then Cochran going to get called for another foul, this time trying to block out Markowski, and that's an issue. 2 fouls now for Olivia Cochran.
And a terrific job. We talked in the open about the fact that Markowski was going to have to compete in the paint and hold down the fort in the paint, and she has done a tremendous job on the boards.
And so Louisville has to bring in Isla Jeffermans, who is out of Australia, actually played with Jessica Petrie of Nebraska while they were in Australia.
10 on the shot clock.
Rimdahl traveled.
I thought that was almost a great decision by Rimdahl. Didn't see her shuffle her feet, but very reactive to this very aggressive Louisville defense.
Stepping back, 3, rattles home, Taj Roberts.
Absolutely, and Roberts has got some terrific range and is deadly from the corner over there.
Top of the key, 3, Logan Nisley.
Yeah, Roberts looking for help, and a nice little pin down screen right there at the key.
4 3-pointers already for Nebraska, who averages just over 8 3-pointers per game typically. Louisville so far 2 of 8 from 3-point range. Curry wants to do something about missing, and then a foul as the rebound is attempted.
Bodies all over the floor, which we're used to seeing in NCAA tournament time.
And Logan Nisley picked up the foul for tripping there. So substitutes for both teams as Nisley goes to the bench with the 2 fouls. Petra Bozon is back into the game for the Huskers. Callan Hake back onto the court as well.
11 players have played for Louisville already in this first half, 9 for Nebraska.
Amari Berry onto the court for Louisville. Harris missing that one, and Bijan with the rebound. Excuse me, Bojan. Petra, the freshman out of Croatia. There she is. Not quite the 3-point threat that Markowski is, Bojan, but she has made 9 this year. And then a stutter step travel against Petrie.
And nice job of walling up right there by Jeffermans on the interior.
9 turnovers now for the Huskers, but they still lead 26-21.
I think if you have the ability to knock down 3-pointers, you can overcome a lot of things. Turnovers, shooting percentages for the opponent.
What a drive by Taj Roberts.
Yeah, I think Roberts, you know, she knocked down that 3 down here, goes to the rim this time, but look out, Nebraska.
Hake pulls the trigger. Rimdahl with the rebound, looking for someone, and she goes back out to Callan Hake. Hake's such a leader for the Huskers, the president of their student athlete club. And leadership, 5 on the shot clock. Prince, 2 seconds. Does she realize it? Yes. And Berry with the rebound. Curry driving through a couple of defenders, and she's fouled. Jada Curry will be at the free throw line when we come back. Louisville down by 3.
Alexis Markowski, the senior leader for Nebraska, has come out ready to play, and she's got the ability to knock these shots down. Play on the interior. She's 4 for 5 from the field already with 9 points, and has been so important for her to be a big part of the offense and defense for Nebraska for the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, she's going to go down as one of the all-time best, the only Husker in their program history 4 times an all-conference honoree, leads Nebraska history with the 52 career double-doubles. She's second all-time in career rebounds. Of course, her father, Andy, played for the Huskers, and she grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, dreaming to be a Husker, and what an impact she has made on this program over the years. And Amy Williams talks about her superpower being how much she believes in her and her team's abilities to succeed and to get her team convinced that they can succeed. And she does a lot of that in that leadership role.
I think if you're not into sports or didn't play sports, you may not understand how important that is to a team, to have somebody that is able to bring people together, to talk all of the time.
Jada Curry is that for Louisville as she makes both free throws. First team all ACC. It's her second year at Louisville after transferring from Cal. And the made free throws allow Louisville to pick up in that full court pressure defense.
And one thing Louisville, I was going to say Nebraska needs to do is take care of the ball better. Right now, 9 turnovers, 13 points off turnovers for Louisville.
And actually that one made 10. As Harris, good position down low and scores it.
And that one made 15. Points off turnovers.
Trying to lob it inside to Markowski, and it gets knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals. Markowski, top of the key, thought about it. Hargrove pulls up, got it.
And a good mismatch, recognition to get the ball over to a player that had a size advantage, and here you go, a turnover by Louisville.
Nebraska has numbers 3 on 2, but the quick hands by Curry don't allow Nebraska to score, but then another turnover. Back and forth we go. Prince into the paint, a scramble, and a tie-up. A couple of players, Nyla Harris and Amaya Grove, whose fathers both played in the NFL, and go after that ball like a fumble on the football field.
Yeah, it has been really physical out here, similar to a football field with a few more rules. Both of these teams really want a win and know that it's just one play away.
Skip pass over to Hargrove. Boy, she's having a nice first half for the Huskers.
And that's twice they've used the skip pass and found Hargrove on the weak side.
From the corner, too strong, and then a foul on the floor. I believe it is on Hargrove.
Yeah, just
that's her first.
Yeah, talking about the pressure that was put on the pass in the first quarter. Now here in the second quarter, a little bit less pressure on the pass, and the passer can see over the top of that active defense. And Nebraska's gotten a couple of looks that way.
You know, it's fun to come to the NCAA tournament, the first and second rounds. You and I actually are in a hotel where several of the parents are staying. We had a chance to meet Amaya Hargrove's dad last night. And what a nice first half she's having. The freshman with 4 points on a couple of nice jumpers. Backdoor cut by Prince, really just left Curry standing.
And who made the pass but Hargrove? Again, you know, the freshman coming out and making some big plays here in a big game.
Freshman to freshman that time for Nebraska. And a tripping foul called on Markowski. As that time Barry doing a nice job of splitting the two defenders.
Nebraska isn't a team that traps all the time, but they trap selectively, so you better be ready to get away from the trap. On the screens on the ball, they have been hedging hard or trapping.
Markowski couldn't believe that one.
As long as you don't have your feet moving and you're reaching, you're probably going to get called.
Isela Arenas is on to the court for Louisville, and what an acrobatic shot from Roberts.
She is one talented player out there, and again, we talked about the freshman for Louisville. She's one of the freshmen, and she has just been so good all season long. Heating it up here.
And nice hands from Roberts, but it's out of bounds on the Cardinals. Huskers will have it with 17 on the shot clock.
Now Roberts just so quick off the dribble, and she's a three-point threat, so you have to guard her. Quiet in that first quarter, really heated up here in the second quarter.
We've talked about the young dynamic freshman for both teams. Prince able to get that one back after it was tipped away. The pass to Rimdahl, too strong. And it will be Louisville basketball as a couple of players collided. Harris a little shaken up. And the officials come together, they say it's Husker basketball.
Yeah, you know, it just, again, very physical out there, boxing out, people attacking the glass, and her own teammate looks like sort of got her across the face with the elbow.
Markowski backdoor cut, retrieves it. Strong goes inside, not able to draw the foul. And a three-point shot from Taj Roberts.
Just heating up, a heat check right there.
First player in double figures for the Cardinals. Markowski, and we saw Olivia Cochran go to the bench with the 2 fouls earlier, but now Istanbuloglu is in defending Markowski and doing a good job at it. Roberts had gotten away with an extra step there, but Nebraska there to reel it in.
I like the fact that Roberts is hunting her shot.
Hake misses a three. Under a minute to go in the first half. What an entertaining first half between these two programs, all tied up. Williams gets her own rebound. The ball is stripped, and it will stay on this end. Well, coming up at halftime, Degree in the studio. Talk about South Carolina dominance in the first round. And Joyce Edwards leading the way with 22 points. They'll show halftime highlights and get you caught up on everything going on in the NCAA tournament.
Unbelievable that Louisville has had 10 offensive rebounds already in this game. Just 2 second chance points.
We knew they would get extra possessions with offensive rebounds and turning over the Huskers, but Nebraska has countered that with their efficiency, shooting 47% from the field, and that brings us to all tied up here with 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. Marissa Russell onto the court. Screening for Williams. Williams changing direction. Tough shot.
Wow, she's just so powerful with the basketball in her hands.
Williams was a part of that Miami team a few years ago that upset Indiana in the second round and advanced to the Elite Eight. And she is transferred over to Louisville and provided a spark on both ends of the court. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds remaining. Hargrove throws it away. Roberts in the passing lane, and she's fouled by Prince. The defense by Louisville coming through and resulting in a big basket and maybe an and one.
This pressure defense just gets to you, and terrific job of anticipating into the passing lanes, and we have seen Roberts with her speed make plays like this, and that's just a silly foul right there. My philosophy, if you want to know my philosophy.
Yeah, I do want to know your philosophy. Let's hear it.
Don't let them get a shot. If you're going to foul, use a foul. Not intentional, not to hurt somebody, but
don't let them score.
Yeah, don't let them score.
So the foul on Prince was her first. It sends Taj Roberts to the free throw line. She leads all scorers with 12 points. The freshman out of San Diego. Can't complete the three-point play. And that's the way the first half will end as Harris helped up from the floor. Louisville with a surge at the end, leading 36-32 at the half. Let's get you to the studio with Elle Duncan, Shanae Ogwumike, and Andrea Carter. See, Louisville ended on a 9-0 run, but the big stat, Louisville 17 points off the Nebraska turnovers. And Roberts, the freshman, with a fantastic first half.
And that last statistics is just unbelievable. Nebraska with those 14 assists on 14 makes. We went to break thinking it was 13 assists on 14 makes. They changed one of the shots that were made to include the assist.
And Roberts gets things started for Louisville to score once again, to stretch it out to the largest lead of the game so far for Louisville. And yes, we were in fact told that officially that Britt Prince shot where she dribbled into it, they went back and counted that as an assisted shot. So 14 assists on 14 made field goals, as Markowski coming out of the halftime locker room missing that one inside.
So important for Markowski to knock those shots down and finish on the interior.
Louisville on an 11-0 run right now that spans back to the first half. And all of that they did without Olivia Cochran on the court. She got those 2 fouls. And they try to feed it inside to her. Harris does, and she throws it out of bounds.
Well, you want to try to get Cochran involved here early since she's been sitting on the bench for a while. I'm sure Coach Walls has talked to his team about that, but forcing it in without reversing the basketball, turning it over, not good. Not something the coach really likes.
No. On the Nebraska side, live ball turnovers. I walked by Matt Coatney, the longtime voice of the Nebraska Huskers on the radio. He and Jeff Griesch have done over 800 radio broadcasts together. And Matt Coatney says to me, live ball turnovers. Yep, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Nisley gets around, doesn't hit the rim, so a shot clock violation for the Cornhuskers.
I'm interested to see if Nebraska can sustain the energy they had in the first half. I thought they came out and matched the intensity of Louisville in the first half, but they cannot let this game get away from them here early.
Roberts, who has been red hot, misses that one, but Harris with the rebound. And that was a concern for Amy Williams when we talked to her at practice yesterday of the offensive rebounds for Louisville. And they have been all over the boards. They really haven't taken advantage of it, though.
Yeah, 11 offensive rebounds, but only 4 second chance points for Louisville.
And a foul called on Roberts. Nebraska will inbound it with 25 on the shot clock.
And a chance for Nebraska to take the ball out of bounds on the baseline here, which puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Jessica Petrie, too strong off the backboard once again, but Logan Nisley comes away with it, and then the ball gets away from her out of bounds.
Yeah, good hustle plays right here by Nebraska, and some great looks on the interior, but you just have to finish those looks when you're that close to the basket in a big game.
Louisville with some big wins this year. We talked about them beating Duke in Cameron Indoor. That was the only game that Duke lost at home this year, was to Louisville. The Cardinals also beat Florida State, Cal, Georgia Tech in the ACC, as well as South Florida for their big wins. And as you mentioned, Jeff Wall's team, with so many freshmen that they rely on, have just gotten better and improved. They were 5-3 in the month of February with 3 wins over ranked opponents.
Well, both of these teams play in such tough conferences. 12 teams from the Big Ten going to the big dance. How many from the ACC?
8 from the ACC. And a turnover. Yeah, really remarkable when you think about it. 12 Big Ten teams. Of course, USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten this year. UCLA's got their opening round game as the number one seed coming up this evening. The ACC with their 8 teams.
Just watching Nebraska, the backcourt players, the guards for Nebraska didn't have any help against that press. And this is where I see sometimes with teams like Nebraska right now, a little bit of fatigue playing a role. Got to stay sharp.
8 on the shot clock. The double team on Prince. Top of the key, Petrie. Too strong, and there's Williams for the rebound. Williams dumps it off to Cochran inside, and she loses the handle. It will be Louisville basketball with 24 on the shot clock.
Williams like a steam engine going down the middle of the floor right there. She is a woman on a mission.
Travel on Williams. And the double teams we've seen from Louisville on Britt Prince and others, that's not unusual. They did that to Georgia Amor when they played against Kentucky. They did that to McQueen from Clemson, who is a terrific scorer for them. And so you see that now, trying to get Britt Prince to get rid of the basketball, get the ball out of her hands with that double team.
And Nebraska's ready for that. They know that's going to happen. They like to run the pick and roll in the quarter-court situation. What I'd like to see from Nebraska is to get the ball downhill right now. They're spending way too much time with the ball in the backcourt and in the top third of this half of their court. Find a way to get it down towards the baseline, put more pressure on this defense.
Rimdahl being defended by Curry. Markowski tries to rip through. Has Cochran on the floor but can't take advantage. 6 on the shot clock. Prince. Nebraska scrambling, didn't have much going at all offensively, and then they step on the baseline.
And again, that pressure defense, disruptive, intense, and it comes at you in waves. If you look over at Louisville's bench, they have players they bring in to keep fresh bodies on the floor.
And now 15 turnovers for Nebraska. Not much scoring at all going on here in the third quarter as Cochran is fouled by Hargrove. Only scoring a Louisville basket earlier. It's 2-0 here in the third quarter. We mentioned these coaches have known each other a long time. Amy Williams was a player at Nebraska and a senior for the Huskers when Jeff Walls was in his first year coaching job on Paul Sandiford's staff. So they have known each other since Amy's senior year of college. And when we talked to both of them about each other, they both gave praise to the other for how well they adjust in game, how well their teams know their roles and do what they're supposed to do, and just had nothing but high praise for one another.
Yeah, they're terrific at game planning, adjustments at halftime, like to run multiple sets.
And Cochran makes one and misses one.
I love the fact that you also coached Amy. in college when she was a freshman, right?
That's right. Full disclosure, I was a coach at Nebraska when Amy was a freshman. So I was on the other end of her playing career at Nebraska. Williams too strong off the backboard. And so, in fact, when Amy was a senior and when Jeff Walls was a first-year assistant coach, I called some of those games on television for Nebraska, so I have known them that long as well.
And both of them obviously spent some time with Paul Sandiford, who was at Western Kentucky for many years, went to Nebraska after he left Western Kentucky, and is a terrific coach, part of the history of our game.
Women's Basketball Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And a timeout called on the floor as Louisville with its largest lead of the game. Jeff Wall's going to gather them around to set up. In the Regional 1 Spokane, Baylor already advancing to play the winner of Ole Miss and Ball State. Congrats to Southern for getting their first NCAA tournament win. Your reward is to play UCLA tonight. And the winner of this game will face TCU. And of course, I know everybody's paying attention because Louisville last year lost in the first round when they could have played against a team with Haley Van Lith and LSU. This year, if they win, they will be pitted against TCU, a team led by Haley Van Lith that played her first 3 years with the Louisville Cardinals.
That is a highly anticipated matchup right there for everybody, but this game is far from over right now. Nebraska hasn't scored yet in this half, still at 32 points.
And it's a 12-0 run for the Cardinals, and almost another turnover for Nebraska. Hargrove gets it over to Callan Hake. They go inside to Markowski, who gathers. Hargrove gets the rebound, and she's fouled, and will go to the free throw line.
Nebraska finally able to get the ball below the free throw line in order to attack on offense on that play right there. I thought Markowski got a lot of contact, had a lot of contact on her layup. It is physical, very, very physical out there. I mean, players don't just usually just turn the ball over consecutively, and I've seen Louisville down at the other end on their drives getting bumped a little because of the physicality.
So that sends Olivia Cochran to the bench with the 3 fouls, and she is replaced by Isla Jeffermans. As Hargrove makes the second free throw. And finally, Nebraska able to score here in the third quarter. Jeffermans trying to get the ball to Harris.
Yeah, Louisville using their post players on the perimeter to enter into their offense. Now in the horn set.
Curry off the screen, splashes that one home. Curry now with 7 points.
And she's been fairly quiet today at the offensive end, but that was a much needed basket.
Yeah, just 1 of 6 now from 3-point range is Curry. 2 of 8 overall. Coming back off that shoulder injury that kept her out of both ACC tournament games. Markowski going to work on Jeffermans. Picks up her dribble, steps through, misses everything. 1 second left, she throws it up, and another shot clock violation. A timeout on the court. Louisville in command right now with a 42-33 lead in the third quarter. The defense of Louisville has held Nebraska to no field goals since the 2:45 mark in the second quarter. And they are doing it with so much young talent as we look at the breakdown. 9 freshmen on this team. In this game, Taj Roberts is leading the way in scoring.
Yeah, and she has quite a bit this year. She's certainly a talented scorer out there, but I think that's a big reason why Jeff Walls had some ups and downs potentially early in the season. You're just adding 9 freshmen. You're adding Jayla Williams at the point guard position as a new player, as a transfer coming in. It takes a while to gel, to get confidence, to get your team to do what you want them to do.
Well, and the fact that their first game of the year was against UCLA.
Yep.
In Paris, what an experience for them, but with a very young team, such a courageous thing to do.
Britt Prince back in the game. She was on the bench for quite a while there in the third quarter.
Markowski posting up strong. Gets the ball, good position. First field goal made for Nebraska since the 2:45 mark in the second quarter. And boy, did they need that.
And a better job by the guards of handling the pressure on the perimeter and making a play, getting the ball to Markowski where she could catch it and make a play herself. That's been just such a big problem here early on. Markowski's having to go get tough catches or maybe missing the catches.
And that shot put her in double figures as she completes the three-point play. 12 points for Markowski, the only Nebraska player in double figures, but she draws the Huskers within 6. Nice backdoor cut, and Jefferman's just left Markowski on the floor with her backdoor cut. Rimdahl out to Hargrove.
Attack the pressure with attack. You got to go towards the basket.
And there Hargrove does. Back irons it. Markowski tries to get a hand on it, keeps the ball alive.
That is Markowski in a nutshell right there.
Britt Prince takes advantage and drains the three.
And that's what Nebraska does. They just work with so much heart. Markowski getting that opportunity of a rebound, getting the ball out, and Prince able to knock it down.
Roberts leading the way for Louisville. Curry goes inside to Jeffermans, who's double teamed and the ball stolen away. Prince to push.
That is a risky pass, just too slow against a team that is really quick.
Britt Prince was a legend in the state of Nebraska, won 4 Class B state championships under her mom and Prince as the head coach. And she took advantage of this offensive rebound.
Yeah, again, the heart of the rebounding right there by Markowski. Prince with that sweet stroke. You mentioned her just having so many accolades coming out of high school. Such an integral part of the success of this Nebraska program this year.
Markowski almost has it ripped away by Randolph. Williams just drives downhill under the basket, got too far with her drive. Rimdahl blocked. And another block. This time, Randolph picks up the foul against Hargrove.
How about Nebraska, though, making the extra plays, giving the extra effort? They have been on the floor, diving for balls. Good job of pushing again. That's something they struggled with, but getting second opportunities here in this quarter have been big.
How about McKinley Randolph, though, the freshman? She blocks the first shot, she recovers, she goes and tries to block the second shot, picks up the foul there. The daughter of NBA veteran Zach Randolph. Isela Arenas, also the daughter of an NBA player for Louisville, Gilbert Arenas. But you could see Randolph, just how she plays with such competitive fire.
Yeah, she's just a bundle of energy out there, a leader. Jeff Walz took her to ACC tip-off. That's how much of a leader she is as a young player.
And Hargrove connecting on the second free throw. We've got a 3-point ball game. Louisville had led by as many as 9 points here in the third quarter. Nebraska has cut it to 3. And another good-looking shot from Taj Roberts.
I think early in the season, Taj Roberts had some shot selection that was questionable, but boy, I tell you what, this second half of the game, second quarter of the game, she has just really done a really nice job of shooting.
Speaking of freshmen, Amaya Hargrove drains that 3. Again, Nebraska #1 in the Big Ten Conference in three-pointers made per game. They can heat up in a hurry. That's 6 three-pointers today. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Easton Bulolu. What a move on the baseline.
Cochran out of the game. They need that presence in the paint. Much better job by Nebraska of sharing the ball, of handling pressure.
Rimdahl missing everything on that one. Rimdahl has been held scoreless. She played so well in the Big Ten tournament in that loss to UCLA. Had double figures as well as 6 assists, but just has not been able to get going in this one.
A little pressure from Nebraska here.
Curry getting instructions from Jeff Walls, but there's just about a half-second difference between the game clock and shot clock, so they're going to go for a last shot of the quarter here if possible. Curry working on Rimdahl. Curry gets the screen, changes directions. Nice pass inside. Easton Bulolu scores it. And the clock stops at .1. There were Louisville players on the court celebrating. Why did the clock stop?
Yeah, good question. It shouldn't have stopped after that basket was made. The clock continues to run.
Yeah, we're at the end of the third quarter. Yep. The clock should not stop after a made basket. Watch this pass.
Yeah, Curry just so creative and able to draw 2 defenders and dish a big finish right there for Louisville.
And everybody, I mean, everybody knew the clock was winding down. So the clock should have continued to run here, and then Louisville players are coming on the court. The clock should not have stopped at .1 seconds. All right, we're at the end of the third quarter. They'll get it all sorted out. That's the end of the third. Louisville leading by 6. Here on the Horned Frogs home court on Sunday. As we enter the fourth quarter of play, Louisville led by as many as 9 in the third quarter. Nebraska came back and cut the lead, and the Cardinals finish off with a 6-point lead as we start the fourth period. And a foul called on Jada Curry as Britt Prince catches the basketball along with Andrea Lloyd. I'm Brenda Van Lingen. Thanks for joining us here, as it has been a good one. Not a lot of scoring there in the third quarter early, but Louisville outscored the Huskers 14-12 in the third.
Nebraska needs to be better offensively this quarter than they were the third quarter.
And that's a play they run often. Logan Nisley getting that back screen in the corner. They've scored on that probably every game this year.
Yeah, catch the defense falling asleep.
Roberts misses that one. And that's where, you know, we talked about this game is about how well can Nebraska take care of the basketball against the Louisville pressure. At times they have not. But then how can they get 3-point shots up? And they have done just that. They're 7 of 17 from 3-point range, and it's kept them in the game. They're within 3.
If you look back to that third quarter, Nebraska was just 3 for 13 shooting. 2 of those shots were 3-pointers. That's the equalizer. It allows you to jump ahead a little bit more, and that's going to really be key, I think, here late. Taking care of the ball against the pressure, not giving up second chance points on the interior to Louisville, and maybe hitting a couple of shots in good offensive sets.
Prince changes direction, pulls up.
Yep.
It's a 1-point ball game.
And a good decision. It was going to be a double team over here with the screen on the basketball. Prince goes the other way, gets that mid-range.
Prince now with 12 points. She and Markowski have led the team in scoring all year long, and they are leading the way along with Amaya Hargrove with 10 points today. Cochran faces up, no, and good hustle by Roberts to pick up the loose ball. And what does Louisville need to do here, as they're going to call the foul on Britt Prince for having both hands on the ball handler. That was the signal by Dee Kantner. That's her second foul.
Here in the fourth quarter, it looks like the officials are tightening it up a little bit on the freedom of movement of the ball handlers out on the perimeter. Both ends, there have been fouls called.
And so as these two coaches and their chess match, what adjustments being made here in the fourth quarter? Who will get the ball in their hands? Cochran missing that one as she attacks the rim. Logan Nisley sees a lane on the right side, bumped by Harris and fouled by Harris.
And that was just good recognition of no weak side help right there. And Nisley just puts the ball on the deck, able to get towards the rim. And almost a nice play right there by Nyla Harris, who's got some size advantage on her.
Nisley misses the first, misses the second. A 92% free throw shooter, missing both free throws that would have given Nebraska their first lead since the second quarter.
Oh, let's see if Louisville can get Cochran involved in the offense. She's been pretty quiet here in the second half. Started the game off strong, had some foul trouble.
Markowski rebounds the miss from Roberts. Nisley in traffic, hounded by Harris, and again Harris picks up the foul.
Yeah, same matchup, same result right there. Harris just not able to stay in front of Nisley on the dribble penetration. Nyla Harris got some speed, but just loses her footing, doesn't keep her feet moving.
And she goes to the bench with the 3 fouls. Callan Hake to inbound it on the baseline. Tries to go over the top to Markowski, who has it knocked away. And Petrie right there to take the lead. The first lead for Nebraska since 2:45 in the second quarter. And they regain control. Now, where does Louisville go for offense?
Well, I still think they have to look inside, kick the ball inside to Cochran. She's so good on the interior, just isn't getting looks, too much dribbling. And no recognition of the shot clock.
Was at one as she let it fly, Roberts, but couldn't hit as she was on the tee in TCU looking for that one. Britt Prince gets the screen from Markowski. Little pick and roll. Markowski. Rimdahl. First basket of the game for Rimdahl, and she stretches the lead to 4.
And how about the vision right there by Markowski to make that skip pass, find her open shooter.
And a 10-0 run for the Huskers as Jeff Walz calls a timeout. Nebraska up 54-50 after being down by as many as 9 in the third quarter. 5 different players for Nebraska have made a three-pointer. They're #1 in the Big Ten in three-pointers made per game and in three-point percentage. And as you mentioned, it's always that factor that if you're a good three-point shooting team, you're really never out of a game. And they were down by 9 and have come back to take the 4-point lead here with under 6.5 remaining. Now Louisville needs to answer. Williams changes gears, blocked by Petrie. Hake with the ball in her hands. Picks up her dribble. That's a problem against the Louisville defense. And they get it in the hands of Prince. Prince and Markowski both with 12 points for the Huskers. Markowski going to put it on the floor from the three-point line. Too strong off the backboard. Louisville has not scored yet in the fourth quarter. Randolph got it. First basket of the final period for the Cardinals.
It took them 5 straight possessions offensively to be able to get that basket right there. Louisville needs to be more efficient here down the stretch.
The winner of this game will advance to play the #2 seed TCU, the Big 12 regular season and tournament championship, or champion, who won over FDU earlier today. 4 on the shot clock. Shot clock is winding down. Does Prince see it? And she does not get it off in time. Dee Kantner says, let's take a look at that. She signals to the bench.
Yeah, it looked like Prince she was aware the shot clock was running down, but it didn't seem like she had the urgency to get it off, and yeah, that's not going to count.
Did not get it out of her hands in time, and we're under 5 minutes to go. Louisville down by 2 with a chance to tie or take the lead. Russell, leader in the game. Cochran short from the baseline. Russell almost rebounds it. Instead, Rimdahl comes away with it.
That's a huge rebound for Rimdahl, who's just 5'9" in there with those trees.
Rimdahl, the transfer from Florida. They get it to Markowski. He's working hard against Cochran. Petrie tries to feed it underneath. Too many bodies for Louisville. Here come the Cardinals. Curry, back to Russell.
Good transition defense right there by Nebraska. Louisville continues to run this screen on the ball. They haven't had any luck here. See if they can get it to Cochran.
Cochran kicks it back out. 10 on the shot clock. Curry in between 3 defenders, and then it's called for the offensive foul.
This Nebraska defense has been locked in to the scout.
And Curry is grabbing her shoulder. That is not good news for Louisville. She missed 2 games of the ACC tournament with a shoulder injury. And immediately she was grabbing her shoulder.
Yeah, just one-on-one, trying to get to the rim right here. And Curry runs into several players.
It was Callan Hake that stepped over to draw the charge. And then she falls back into Markowski, and Curry goes down holding her shoulder. Double team. And a timeout called by Amy Williams across the court because she saw that Rimdahl was in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Got into trouble in the corner right there. Anytime there's a trap, you're in the corner. You have 4 defenders essentially. Quick timeout by Amy Williams.
3:35 remaining in this game. A trip to the second round on the line as we take a look. Nebraska still with 3 timeouts, Louisville with 2. Nebraska has 3 fouls to give, but the possession arrow in favor of Louisville, and 19 seconds on the shot clock. Nebraska won in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year. They played against Texas A&M. They lost in the second round to Oregon State. Last year, the Cardinals lost, shockingly, in an upset to Middle Tennessee State. They were an 11 seed and knocked off Louisville last year in Baton Rouge.
You and I both knew that this 7-10 seed was going to be one of the best games today that we were going to see. Nebraska potentially underseeded in this tournament just because of where they ended up in the Big Ten. But they have been playing so well down the stretch. Important to have a productive possession here for Nebraska.
19 on the shot clock. Logan Nisley inbounds it to Rimdahl. What play has Nebraska called out of the timeout? A straight line drive from Alberti Rimdahl to the rim. Jada Curry is back at the bench, set to check back in for the Cardinals. Cochran. Reverse to Roberts. Roberts has been quiet as of late. Misses that one, and Markowski there for a rebound. And stolen away. And they're going to call the foul on Britt Prince as a great heads-up play there for Jalea Williams to rip the ball away from Markowski.
We asked for a offensive set right here. Oh, and that's the offensive rebound and the rip out by Williams. Williams has been so strong on the interior.
And that's a third foul for Britt Prince. Cochran on the inbounds play with a beautiful jumper from the baseline. Two-point ball game with under 3 minutes, and that was just thrown out of bounds. Markowski couldn't retrieve it, and now Louisville with another chance to tie or take the lead. Curry back on the court. That's sure good to see for Louisville. Jada Curry with the ball in her hands. Roberts. Cochran. And they reset with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Curry pulls up, banks it off the backboard. Beautiful play. She comes up kind of hobbling on that ankle a little bit though. And it's all tied up. Prince, offensive foul, and it's the 4th foul for the freshman.
And who is it making a play again but Williams? She gets the tie up at one end, comes down at the other end, is able to draw the charge defensively. Was that Curry on defense?
Yeah, I think it was
that
Curry.
was Curry. It looked like Williams. So a couple good plays for her as well.
And so important for her to be back on the court after she committed that offensive foul and was grabbing at her shoulder. Important for her to be on the court. Under 2 minutes to play. We're all tied up here in Fort Worth. Ripping through, Randolph. Blocked. A lot of contact, no foul called, and 7 on the shot clock.
You love it or you hate it. There's a lot of contact here, but you want to see the bigs play in the paint, and Randolph able to put the ball on the floor and just meets up with Markowski, who's been a wall all day.
7 on the shot clock. 5. A shot missed by Roberts, but an offensive rebound from Cochran. Curry pulls up, got it. And she goes hobbling on her ankle after she misses a shot.
Looks like she's cramping up.
Man, she hit that layup to tie it up. And then after the offensive rebound from Cochran, a huge offensive board sets up Curry for that jumper.
And we featured her in the open, and she's been so important offensively to this Louisville team. And you see her knocking down yet another huge shot down here in the stretch. Yeah, it just looks like she's cramping up with her legs right there. The trainers will be out working on her, getting her ready to go.
So there's no official timeout on the court, but both teams are on the sideline talking to their coaches. Curry is getting some work done by the training staff for Louisville on the sideline. And so it's just a stoppage in play to get Curry off to get her treated. A 6-0 run for the Cardinals that gave them the lead. Petrie backdoor to Prince, hangs in the air and scores it. It's a tie game with just under a minute to play. A trip to the second round to play TCU on the line, and Jeff Walz calls a timeout.
Jeff Walz wants his best player at the moment in the game, and that's Jada Curry.
All right, Jeff Walz calls the timeout, 22 seconds on the shot clock. What is he saying to his team?
He was getting Curry in the game and taking an opportunity to talk about what he's going to do offensively on this set and potentially what he's going to do defensively.
And so Nebraska takes Britt Prince out with the 4 fouls defensively. Louisville with the basketball. The game is tied. Russell on the court. The ball in the hands of Curry. Curry steps back behind the 3. No. Offensive rebound again from Cochran, and she is blocked but fouled by Jessica Petrie, and it will send Olivia Cochran to the free throw line. Huge offensive rebound once again for Olivia Cochran.
Well, Curry used that screen on the ball over on the right side of the court, and you see Markowski having to come out and hedge and contest on the shot, so she wasn't available to rebound down low. Cochran goes to work.
So Olivia Cochran, a 72% free throw shooter on the year. 1 of 2 today. Now make that 1 of 3. And you can see the difference between the game clock and shot clock is 0.4 seconds. Depending on who gets this rebound, or if it's a made shot, it's a made shot, so a 1-point lead for Louisville. So Nebraska will have it with virtually as much time in the game remaining as the shot clock. So as Amy Williams gathers her team around, we'll talk about what's going to happen in just a moment. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. So, Andrea, as Amy Williams gathers her troops around, what are you expecting?
Well, Louisville obviously is advancing the basketball, which you could do. Yep. And so it will be in the front court for Nebraska, excuse me. She has a lot of options. Obviously, she can go down low to Markowski. They've had a trouble getting her the basketball. At this point in the game, you're going to need to take a shot and make a shot. You want to give yourself time for an offensive rebound as well in case you miss that shot. Going to Markowski, Birdie has been explosive, I think, off of the dribble. Birdie Rimdahl, she's an option. And obviously, I'm guessing the freshman, Britt Prince, will be back on the floor.
She is, as well as Rimdahl, Nisley, Petrie, and Markowski. As Prince comes around, she's defended by Cochran out away from the basketball, so she changes gears, goes to the rim, and commits an offensive foul. Her 5th foul of the game, as the defender for Louisville rotated over and drew the offensive foul. The freshman Britt Prince for Nebraska saw an open lane. She was defended by Cochran.
That's not a bad look for her right here. I just think Britt Prince needed to pull up and take a really nice jumper rather than getting too deep. A little bit of a mistake potentially just with the youth of Britt Prince. Again, as a freshman, she has performed admirably, but today she will have to sit out the rest of this contest.
So she goes to the bench with 5 fouls, 14 points, 6 assists, as well as 3 rebounds. Has fouled out of the game. Still plenty of time with 25.2 remaining for Louisville. Now they'll inbound the ball with the lead. So what are you expecting?
Well, you know, for right now for Nebraska, they're going to have to foul because Louisville's going to utilize as much clock as possible and run it out if they have to. They have a lot of ball handlers, Louisville does. So I think for right now, just foul as quickly as you can, extend the game, put Louisville at the free throw line.
As the officials taking a look.
If you're looking at players that you maybe don't want to foul right now, Jada Curry, 91% free throw shooter.
Yeah, #1 free throw shooter in the ACC. The officials taking a look at the clock, adding a couple of tenths of a second. It's now at 25.9 as we get ready to break the huddle.
Look at Jalea Williams, 60% free throw shooter. If she gets a catch, you want to foul quickly with her. Obviously, you go for a steal first, though. I mean, every single time you're going to be pressuring the basketball, go for a steal, and then go for the foul.
And Cochran is a 72% free throw shooter, but 2 of 4 today.
Exactly.
And so Russell is on the court to inbound it.
And no more timeouts for Louisville.
They get it inbounds. Curry going to try to run away from everybody. It's not who you want to foul, but that's who Louisville gets the ball to smartly. As Jada Curry, 91.5%. She leads the ACC in free throw shooting. And she will go to the line with a 1-point lead with 21.4 seconds remaining. Nebraska with 2 timeouts, depending on what happens with these free throws. And they added tenths of a second as Britt Prince can only look on as she committed her 5th foul on that last offensive possession for the Huskers. Curry sinks the first one to make it a 2-point game. And Curry calmly sinks them both as Nebraska will call a timeout to advance, down 3. So 21.9 remaining. Nebraska has been so good from 3-point range again today. 8 of 18, 44%. You don't need a 3-pointer here with the time remaining, but what do you expect from Nebraska?
I think there's a lot of time left on the clock, and you still do have a timeout if you are Nebraska at this point. So certainly take the best shot you can get here early. And right now for the Cornhuskers, Hargrove has checked into the game. Love her physicality, her ability to create plays. You can direct pass inside to Markowski if you have that opportunity from the out-of-bounds situation in the front court. Without Prince in the game, you wonder how they're going to handle the pressure from Louisville.
Logan Nisley is 3 for 3 from 3-point range today. Rimdahl hit a 3. Markowski hit a 3. Prince out of the game was 2 of 5, but she's out with the 5,000. Hargrove hit a 3-pointer as well. So if you're Amy Williams, you have options.
Absolutely. Inside or outside.
Callan Hake will inbound it. She gets it to Rimdahl. Rimdahl kicks out to 3. Nisley, no, her first missed 3 of the game. And then Randolph goes to the floor with the ball. It's a jump ball, but possession arrow in favor of Louisville. They do not have a timeout, though. They do not have a timeout. 11.3 remaining. And again, Curry holding her shoulder. We've seen her go down twice now. The shoulder injury kept her out of the ACC tournament. You see the distress on her face. She just made those 2 free throws to extend the lead to 3 for the Cardinals. Let's take a look at what just happened.
And I thought after this shot was missed, Louisville had the ball and just wasn't able to secure it. And a good job right there by Nebraska, diving on the floor.
Randolph just fell to the floor with the basketball. Louisville inbounds it. They foul Cochran quickly. And Cochran has the opportunity here to make this a 2-possession game.
Yeah, that's the hard part, I think, of this earlier shot and going for 3 in that situation, that you put yourself in a bad, in a worse situation later as the clock's running down. So Louisville's out of timeouts. Nebraska has 1 remaining.
Olivia Cochran, a 72% free throw shooter on the year, has missed a couple today. She's 2 of 4 from the free throw line. But she calmly drains that one. 4-point lead for the Cardinals. Misses the second, and a timeout called on the rebound. So 9.2 seconds remaining. The Huskers down 4. That's their last timeout of the game. So Amy Williams will have to be setting up not only this play, but what she expects in the last 9.2 seconds. You see, no timeouts remaining for either team. The possession arrow is in favor of Nebraska after that last tied up ball went to the Louisville Cardinals. So what are you expecting?
Well, with a 2-possession game, unless you shoot a 3-pointer and you get to the free throw line because somebody fouled you, there's no 4-point shot in the game. I say you have to go quick on this first shot. Go get it 2 quickly and then cut into this lead, and then you're in the same situation. Foul, go back down to the other end and figure out a way to get down the floor quickly to give yourself a chance at another shot, depending on what the score is at that point.
The winner will advance to play TCU on Sunday. Jada Curry, returning for this game, has fallen and hurt her shoulder a couple more times, but boy, has she been impactful.
Yeah, 13 points, 4 for 11, but she had those 4 baskets, or 3 of them, late in the game, and they were critical.
And she hit those 2 key free throws. She is on the bench right now. You see the 9 points in the second half after 4 points in the first half, and Nebraska will inbound it. They go to Markowski, and the pass over the top to Hargrove goes to nobody, and a tough turnover for the Huskers.
Just a poor possession right there by Nebraska. Unfortunate because they've stuck with this game so much. I expect them to continue to foul, extend the clock potentially.
5.9 seconds remaining. Louisville with no timeouts and a quick foul. Markowski against Cochran. 5.1 seconds. We'll send Olivia Cochran, who just made her last 2 free throws. Nebraska's Alexis Markowski, Alberti Rimdahl, Kendall Moriarty, Kendall Coley in their senior game. This could be the last time in a Husker jersey for those 4 players, especially Markowski, who has meant so much to this program. 2nd all-time rebounder in Husker history. A 4-time All-Big Ten selection. And her foul sends Cochran to the free throw line. Misses the first. No timeouts remaining for Nebraska. And they're down 5. Rimdahl pushing, launches, short, and Louisville will advance to play a TCU team led by Haley Van Lith.
Yeah, we expected defense to be a factor, and it was. 24 points off turnovers for Louisville, and then how about their senior and Jada Curry? She just came up big late in the game for the win.
Nebraska bows out of the first round and goes home with a 21-12 record on the year. Louisville will advance as Jeff Walls congratulates Alexis Markowski on an incredible career at Nebraska. She finishes with 12 points and 10 rebounds to add to her double-double total in her career. So that advances the Cardinals to play TCU on Sunday. Oh, and the intrigue of the TCU team led by Haley Van Lith to play against the Louisville team where she played her first 3 years of her career. Our final score: Louisville 63, Nebraska 58. Next up, Montana State takes on Ohio State. Matt Schumacher and Brooke Weisbrod on the call.